one bring to my parade. Every day made me feel ashamed. Don't want to see my own face. Now I know it's not my fault, but on my room the pouring songs, and it hurts so bad. Just make me mellow, weeping lasting all night. I know that joy comes in the morning light, so I march on to a new song, 'cause I've been marching to that old one-way road, and I gotta move on and take new steps every day, 'cause I know there has got to be another way, and I'm tired of today, so I march on.
So that is brand new music, brand new single, March On, by Chicago's own Asia Jamal, featuring her brother Elijah Jamal as part of her program, the March On Movement, that supports victims of sexual abuse and assault. Information about the movement, as well as purchase and download March On, following the link located in the show promo that I posted on my Facebook page, which you should be following by now. You can also locate all of her music under Songbird, that's Bird with a Y, B-Y-R-D, on platforms such as Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon, and CD Baby. Make sure to check her out, y'all. She's doing big things. She is Chicago's very own. Her name is Asia Jamal. She has a brother, Elijah Jamal, on that track, March On, with the March On movement as well. I'm definitely a fan of hers in addition to. So check it out. Welcome to Rix Room here on IntellectualRadio.com and iHeartRadio station. I'm your host, Mr. Rick. We got a couple of things going on. We got kids marching now. Speaking of marching on, we got, yesterday was Muslim Women's Day. That's a thing. I didn't know that was a thing. Right, neither did I. Found that out too. Nice. And listen, just so that you all are aware, we are on Central Daylight Time now. We're not on Standard Time anymore. For those of you that still think that you're on Standard Time, get off of it. It's Central Daylight Time. It's one of my pet peeves. I hate it. If this is your first time hanging out in the room, thank you so much for stopping by. This is a place where we kick back, have adult conversations, confronting stereotypes, discussing current events, and whatever else may come up. All I ask is that you remain respectful. And if you're back again for another visit, you know the deal. Go ahead and grab your adult beverage, find you a comfortable spot somewhere on the couch, on the floor, love seat, ottoman, whatever. Just stay off my bed. And you can find us live here every Wednesday night on IntellectualRadio.com and iHeartRadio station. Shout out to the hashtag IR Hump Day crew. Hashtag Wednesday is the new Friday. We're live streaming on Facebook. Y'all wave the camera, say, hey, Facebook.
Hey.
We are also live streaming over on YouTube. Say, what's up, YouTube? That's all about the cameras. And if you miss any of the shows, you can always catch up on iHeartRadio.com or on iTunes. Just search for Intellectual Radio under the podcast section. Tonight, we're wrapping up Women's History Month, and we're talking about women today and beyond. And I'm joined by three lovely women in the room today who will be chatting with us, being a woman today and moving forward. I appreciate them stopping by the room this evening. So I'm going to go ahead and get them introduced to you all. For starters, right here on my right, we have the host of Sister Girl Radio, which you can find here every Sunday at 11 o'clock at IntellectualRadio.com. Miss Talisha Red is in the room. How are you, love?
I'm wonderful, Ricky. You make me so proud. I can't stop smiling. Yeah.
Because my first time ever on a show was on Sister Girl Radio back in 2017. She kicked it off for me and got much love.
It's like watching a baby.
Oh, well, I've grown all the way up now. But
and you're awesome at it. You're awesome at it.
Well, thank you so much, Talisha. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Talisha, Sister Girl Radio, IntellectualRadio.com, like he said. I just want to go right now. My brand is just about empowering Black women. That's what I stand for. That's what I'm doing, trying to build this empire that I have going slowly, but trying. I model. I have my own show. Somebody wants me to get into acting. I don't know about that, but I'm just trying to be me and do me. My 9 to 5 is project management right now. But Steve Harvey said, use your job as a seed for your dreams. So I'm trying to do that. That's me. So,
high five. That's what's up. All right. So moving next to Talisha, both of these young ladies that I've been introducing actually are longtime friends, probably the longest life. Well, yeah, probably all the way back since first grade, actually.
St. Dom's.
So we also have joining us here my soror, actually. That's it. Yoga instructor and wellness advocate, Miss Misha Williams is in the building, in the room. What's going on, Misha?
Hello.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a yoga instructor, a social worker, and the 9 to 5 is a care coordinator. So I like to help people.
That's what's up, helping people. And we're going to help people in this conversation.
That's right.
Today.
People need help.
That's right.
And I'm here to help them.
The ladies and the brothers that are tuning in as well. And rounding out my guests, I have a young lady that I met on Talisha's show, actually. And we've been cool ever since. A really, really cool woman to have with me here. A host of, now is it hashtag Cabrillo Chats or just Cabrillo Chats?
It is both.
Okay, so the host of hashtag Cabrillo Chats or Cabrillo Chats,
Right.
Miss Cabrillo Briatti's in the building. What's going on, darling?
Hey, people, how y'all doing? This is Cabrillo Briatti of Cabrillo Chats, and I'm so honored to be here today.
Listen, it's a pleasure to have all y'all. It is a pleasure to have all y'all. We're going to talk a little bit about the conversation tonight. Like I said, women today and beyond. So join in the conversation. You know the deal. Go ahead and share your views and opinions or experiences. You can call us 708-223-8953 is the number to dial. It's right back there if you're tuning in on Facebook. Or you can go ahead and post in the comment section on Facebook and share this page on your social media. I see a few of you already have. Hey, Soror Helena Smith, what's going on? Daniel Big Papa D's is in the room. What's going on?
Now y'all talking about longtime friends. That's been a long-time friend of mine.
Because y'all go way back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So shout out to Dan. What's up, Danny?
Danny is in the building. Listen, it's a pleasure that he watched this show. I feel honored. He's a legend in his own right. So
yes, that he is.
Big Papa from so many different radio stations. I take notes. But go ahead and post this on your social media. Share this on your page. Let your family and friends and followers get involved in the conversation with us this evening. Tonight's show, like last week, it's being brought to you by all women-owned businesses. So a couple of things that I want to get out of taken care of. For starters, Made Spotless Cleaning offers commercial and residential cleaning and organizing. Listen, y'all, if y'all like me, cleaning is not at the forefront and organizing is not at the forefront. It's just not a thing for me. It might not be a thing for you, but let Made Spotless Cleaning take care of that for you. They take pride in all of their work and have a passion for helping others, kind of like Misha does, doing what they do best. Just by listening to your needs, they're committed to delivering a consistent and high-level quality of work. Made Spotless Cleaning is bonded and insured with flexible days and hours to suit your desires. They accept credit cards, checks, or cash and are looking forward to the opportunity to work with you. So call today for a free estimate and see if you're in their cleaning zone. You can reach them at 708-372-1075. Be sure to check them out on Facebook for more details. Facebook.com/Made Spotless. Tonight's show is also being brought to you in part by DLP Serenity Travel. It's finally vacation season, y'all. Vacation season is here. So if you're looking for a getaway but can't find the time to plan a vacation, just check out DLP Serenity Travel and get your vacation planning taken care of. They're planning trips both domestic, international, and even on cruises. DLP Serenity Travel can get you ready for your next getaway. Just contact DLP Serenity Travel by visiting the website at dlpserenitytravel.com or call directly 773-678-4161 to schedule a consultation. That's DLP Serenity Travel, where it's all about you. All right, so let's go ahead and get this conversation started because we're wrapping up Women's History Month, right? We got to pay attention to the ladies. The ladies are important. The ladies make us. I was saying this before when I used to work in restaurants. If you have an all male management team, your management team sucks. Like it just does. You're not really going to, you're going to miss out on some things. I shouldn't say sucks. Sorry. But that's it in any regard. Women bring so much to the table. We've talked about women in leadership, ministry leadership positions. We've talked about women in the community where we had some sorors on that talked about Zeta Phi Beta, as well as women in law enforcement. And tonight we just want to have a conversation with y'all about how we can continue making history, how women continue making history in every day, and a little bit about y'all too, and what it's like being a woman in the millennium, I guess. I don't know. So let me ask y'all, just to start this conversation off, who are some of the women that you would consider influential for you growing up? It's always the first question that people are scared to answer, but they'll get it. Don't worry, Facebook, they will.
I wasn't scared. I was waiting for you to get finished.
I was done. I appreciate, though, you looking out for me, letting me get through that.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, who are some of the women that were influential for you in your lives?
My mom.
Yeah?
Mom, watching her work, taking care of home, being the boss that she is, still bossing to this day. I think that's one of the first people that you look towards, your mom. And so my mom, she did what she had to do. She took care of me. She instilled her values. So I want to say my mom and my grandma were two of the people that I looked up to as a child.
Nice. What about you, Misha?
Definitely my mother. My mother has passed on, but by far the best person I've ever met in my life. loving, real, had a very deep relationship with God, but wasn't like dogmatic or lacked compassion for others. So my mother set the bar so high as a woman and as a mother. So I think if I live the rest of my life aiming for the goals she set, I'll always have work to do.
R.I.P. Mama Mickey.
Yeah.
Well, blessings on her legacy that she left for me. Of course, my mom, but I'm going to say my daughter.
Wow.
Nice.
My daughter.
Okay.
Because my daughter came at a time where I was very young. What am I going to do with cultivating another human being? And just to watch her grow the way she has. And pretty soon she'll be 20 in May.
Wait a minute. What? 20?
Yes, I'll be 41 this year.
I will be checking IDs
Lies.
later. Right.
Lies.
She over here talking about she want to do yoga.
So yes, I am 20 years and 10 months to the day older than my daughter. But to look at her and to see the young adult that she's becoming and the child that she once was and her thought processes and everything, and to think that I had a hand in that, but also for her to form her own ideas. She just recently left me. She moved.
Where'd she go?
She's in Georgia. She said she wants to get out of Chicago just to see if she can make it on her own. So just to know that I helped shape those wings in order for her to fly. And to talk to her, to see her, just it makes me feel proud knowing the type of woman that she is growing to become. So yeah, my daughter.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And I mean, you know what, y'all, well, at least I'm sure you all know, we might have talked about this too, Gabriel. I grew up in a household, right, of women, right? I had my mom, I had my grandmother, I had my aunt, I had a female dog, I had my 3 sisters. Like, there were women all around me growing up that were very influential. And I get the importance of, and especially the impact that, you know, the women in your lives who are the first caretakers and nurturers they have. I mean, is there anybody else like in society that you look at that potentially could be an influence? I mean, a role model. Go ahead, Misha.
Toni Morrison.
Yeah.
I love her work, but I heard her on an interview and the way she articulates herself, particularly about race relations and also how she had to write while she had young children, the things she had to overcome as a mother. You know, she was saying her son spit up on a paper and she just kept writing because she said, I may never get this line back. You know, so her tenacity and her art, I'm just so encouraged by her. She did an interview with Charlie Rose and she read them up and down. I love she's amazing.
Because, you know, reading somewhat is fundamental.
Yes.
You got to know how to do it.
Yes.
Is that a characteristic? No, I wouldn't say a characteristic of a woman, but knowing how to read is important. And I don't mean reading books.
Clearly.
Right. Toni Morrison's good. Okay. Anyone else?
Me?
Like, I'm sorry.
I want to say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
And don't beat me up when I say this.
Uh-oh.
But my sister in my head, the Beyonce Galise knows Carter of the world. I know Misha. I know she is. Don't drink your wine and my wine. I know. Let me tell you why.
Misha's in there drinking everybody's wine for that.
Let me tell you why. Give me my moment.
Go ahead.
Okay,
I hear you. No, go ahead.
You guys
please.
like Beyonce because she's like Jordan. She's the popular thing out there. I like Beyonce because for the past 20 years, this woman's music, and I don't want to get emotional, there is not a song that I can't put on that has not helped me through my life.
Like that.
Like, let's get deeper than just, oh, I'm a fan.
Mm-hmm.
From love to self-esteem, from empowerment. If I want to feel like I'm the boss, if I want to feel like there's not one song I can't put on to give me that passion and that feeling. And I know you say she wrote on piece of paper, but she wrote these songs too. So it's like, you know, like, you don't understand how influenced the music is to me. And I'm not just a fan just because, oh, she's hot. She could work at McDonald's tomorrow. I'd be at the McDonald's every day, but she could work at McDonald's tomorrow. And I would still like dope her music. So it's like, with her, I'm serious. I don't want to tell how many days apart because I don't know how obsessed I am with her, but we are like, for the past 20 years, her music has helped me through situations. If I ever met her, I would just say, you don't understand how your music has helped me. So she's one of the influential people in my life. So,
nice.
Okay. I don't know. Cliche.
Now, see, for me, because I understand her Beyonce fetish.
Not fetish.
Well, I'm sorry. That was
she did. Yes.
Wrong adjective. I apologize. Shouts out to dictionary.com. I need to look up on the thesaurus. But for me, one of mine is Whoopi Goldberg.
Okay.
Because she has always created her own lane despite what was going on around her. She is I believe she's the only African American comedian actress with the Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and a Tony.
I never knew that.
Yes. I think either she's only one of two or she's the only one. And for her she appears to be comfortable with herself despite what society says. I read somewhere that says, shout out to all the women that loves themselves despite society telling you not to. And she's been doing that ever since she did her first one-woman show on Broadway. And she caught a flame. I remember her in Jumpin' Jack Flash.
Yes, come on, Jumpin' Jack Flash. I was talking about the other day. Somebody didn't remember Jumpin' Jack Flash or Burglar.
Yes, I remember Burglar. I remember Ghost. I remember the basketball one, Fast Eddie or something like that.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
But just her, and like you said, her tenacity. Women like that always capture my attention because they make me feel like it's okay for me to be me.
And I think that the importance of that is, and I wanted to ask too, what is it that you take with you from the women who are inspirations? What are some of the things that you carry on based on what the influence that they've made as that person in your life? What are some of those things that you carry on? And I think you've kind of answered that. What their role has been in shaping you. But go ahead, Talisha.
I want to say something. My favorite movie from Whoopi Goldberg is called Telephone. Have you ever seen that?
No, I need to look that up.
Telephone. The entire movie, she talks on the telephone. And at the end of the movie, the guy knocks on the door and says, "We're coming to reinstall your phone service."
It's called Telephone?
Telephone. Like, she could have did it on a stage. She talks for an hour. And I mean, you sitting there, it's just like the dopest conversation you've ever heard. And the whole time she's sitting in this room talking to herself.
Okay, that's something I have to.
So I just wanted you to talk like that. That made me change my view on Whoopi. Like, this woman is, despite like you said, how she looks at herself, like this woman is it. Because she had me on like, girl, she was feeling all the tea. But the entire time she was talking to herself.
She captivates. To me, she's very captivating, and she is one of the epitomes of the word genius.
I agree.
She really, really
and like you said, society tells her because she's dark and all this like that she shouldn't love herself and stuff like that, and she pushed through that. So.
Right, and then her very humble single parent welfare, just like J.K. Rowling, is basically upon the same lines. That when someone said no, I believe no stands for next opportunity. So if y'all want to get that on a t-shirt,
like recognize
me. So you put that on a t-shirt and sell it. What are you talking about?
Gabriel Chats is in the building with that. I like that.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, it's just you have these things, and you growing up. It was very interesting with me growing up, and the things that I went through, and things that I'm starting to break out of my shell now, being 40 plus, and just having these little things, like looking at people who are comfortable within themselves, and I still have battles within me that I'm not comfortable in sharing or overcoming, but having those, and then being surrounded by women such as these two, it's a very welcoming thing.
Yes.
Well, listen, if any of you are watching or tuning in and want to share those women who have been influential in your life, please go ahead and comment on the Facebook Live here, or give us a call, 708-223-8953. Looks like Harry Fries says, Harry Free, excuse me, St. Domitilla.
What's up, St. Domitilla today, Harry? 1995.
It's a damn good movie. I don't know which movie he was talking about. Al Young, one of the producers of Rix Room, says Eddie is the name of the basketball movie with Whoopi.
There we go.
It was Eddie. Dr. Prater, Marlena Prater, loved that. I'm not sure what we're loving, but she might be loving the Beehive. She might be loving Whoopi. But Eric Anthony says no equals next opportunity. It looks like it's catching on. Yep. It's catching on. We might have to put that.
Shout out to Marlena Beehive in the building.
The telephone is what Harry was talking about there. But and I can appreciate the you know what I was going to ask. Whoopi had a movie that she played the operator for. On 9/11 when the planes hit the building, she was in the tower. I can't remember the name of that movie. Check it out though; it was really good.
I've never seen.
It was really good. I want to say it was 911, but I could be wrong. But I think that was the name of it. It was either on Netflix or on one of those streaming platforms. But if any of y'all know it, go ahead and comment
tell
down there.
them
as
comment.
No,
well.
I
it's
can
Rick
check
Room.
that
It's your
out.
responsibility
But
to find the name of the show since you brought it up.
It just came up. You do that on Sister Girl Radio. Now, so listen, let me ask you all, because you all are in corporate America or owning, your own businesses and whatnot. What are some of the things that you all continue or are observing that still happen with women in those positions?
Well, up
Pay gap.
until so my daytime job, the thing that keeps ComEd happy, for right now, until my passion becomes my paycheck, is I do corporate facilitation. So I basically deal with adult age toddlers.
That sounds like management.
Theoretically, it is. But what I tend to see is that they will create a facade that is a glass ceiling that has you aiming for this mirage, but you cannot get over this hump with a lot of things. That's why you have to be very creative in things that you do and create your own lane and stuff. So I see it all the time, and I'm talking about upper level corporate. I know for where I work at now, the board of directors there is one woman, and we're talking at least, I think it's 20 of them. So yeah, one woman. And in having just offbeat conversations with her and the things that she has to face and the things that she goes through, it's a very interesting dynamic that you have to be able to separate yourself from business and personal, because as women, my opinion, and I can only speak for myself as a woman, we're emotional then logical.
Cabral, can I ask you, is she African American?
No, she's actually I know she's not Caucasian. I want to say she's Hispanic. I want to say, but I might be wrong. But no, she's not black. But women sometimes, and I can only, like I said, I don't speak for myself, we tend to be emotional then logical. So whereas when you're getting certain positions in certain corporate fields, you have to be logical and keep the emotions in check. Like, it's easy for a man to say something and be demanding. Let a woman do the same thing. All of a sudden, she's difficult. She's a female dog, etc.
Thank you for the profanity-free zone.
Yes.
This is governed by FCC regulations.
Shouts out to no fines. But you have to, and just like with me being in corporate facilitation management or whatever, I have to delegate my duties accordingly, because I do get tested because I'm black, because I'm a woman. People do try to pull it, and I have to take a deep breath, count to 5 backwards in my head before I react.
Can I share a funny story?
Sure.
Shout out to being African American. I love it. But I was at TGI Fridays one time, right? And I get there, and the lady, they forgot to put my order in. And I promise you, if every white person in that room didn't turn around waiting on me to be Keisha from the South Side of Chicago, right? I turned my WP girl on. Oh, that's okay. I'm sure you'll compensate me in a good way. But that just goes back to what you were saying about the emotional thing and how they look at us and how they go back. And I've heard Misha say it too, being a social worker, that the workers are women, but the upper people are all men and are just cut out and everything like that. And I think, my opinion is, like I said, that's why I didn't like my name and stuff like that, was because I just feel like my mom always told me, you're a woman, you're black, you're going to have to work twice as hard. And she wasn't lying. Clearly she wasn't. But I just feel like in my project management that I am in, and I'm trying to get higher up in that field, it's nothing but men. And they look at me like, oh, I'm just trying to, like, if a man was to tell them what to do on their projects and jobs, he's a boss. When I tell them and call them, oh, you're micromanaging me, you're this, you're that, I can hear them the way they talk to me versus the other people in my office as men, because they'll talk to the guys with more respect and this, and like, it's like I'm a baby or something like that, but I'm a boss just like he's a boss. I'm telling you what to do just like he's telling you what to do. But when I hear them talk on speed,
or just give us a call, 708-223-8953. You've been on here before. You know how it goes. So in professional environments and Misha, I want to get to something with you in just a second, but in professional environments, from my experience, it's unfortunate that it is still a case. To your point, Cabral, like I said earlier, when you have women that are part of a management team, women that are part of a management team, it provides a different or well-rounded a vantage point because women are can be more emotional than men and men are more logical than emotional, right? There's that the difference that creates that balance. It's a thing. Look it up. But I mean, wait, you look like you disagree, but it is a thing. It's not to say that women aren't logical, but
men are more emotional creatures than we are. Men are big kids and body. You guys are kids and big. You guys are
in other words, they're adult age toddlers.
Clearly,
come on back to adult age.
Men are big kids and big body. The toys just get bigger.
Hold on, I want to hear Misha on that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me talk.
So I believe both men and women are emotional, but I believe the way we display our emotions may be different. So
right, and I'm not saying that men aren't emotional. Let me clarify that. I am saying that women have the ability to tap in, react more emotionally than men do. Men react more more logically than women do. It's just the way we're designed. No? Okay, go ahead, Misha.
Well, that's a whole nother show.
I love Misha. Clearly, I'm just
we're gonna be here all day because men can compartmentalize and not, display emotionality, if that's a word.
Come on, emotionality. Write it down. Write it down.
Dictionary.
This is Rix Room.
UrbanDictionary.com. Emotionality.
In Rix Room, we come up with words.
We do our
we
thing.
do words. Go ahead.
But so a man may feel very deeply, but not lash out or display it in a certain way. And men can I do believe men can compartmentalize their feelings a little bit. Women, everything is more intertwined, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. Sure. Like, because we read into people's emotions and we're more in tune with how people feel, and maybe it all gets mixed up in there. Like, I've heard the saying that men are waffles and women are spaghetti.
Huh. I like that, though.
Explain that a little bit deeper.
I like that.
So a man has a plate. This is work. Work is here.
Mm-hmm.
This is home. These are the finances. These are my friends. Everything has its place. But with a woman, my friends at work did this. See, I don't think she's a good mother because she doesn't know how to deal with people. You start inferring things and reading into things. And these are totally opinions of mine. But I believe because women have to multitask in different ways, and we are expected to manage people's feelings. And I think what you were saying about women being more emotional, that can be a double-edged sword, because you expect women to respond to you with more kindness and compassion in the service industry, per se. So I'm a care coordinator, case manager. I have people say, well, I want more services. And I'll say no, but then they'll start giving me. Now, if my male, give me all these reasons why they should have them, because they're trying to play on my emotions. Now, if my male counterpart goes out and says, no, this is what you're going to get, this is what you're authorized for, they're not going to fight back as much because they're not expecting him to be, as sympathetic to their cause. When I used to drive for Uber, if I wasn't nice and talkative to people, I would get a low rating. No, sometimes I just want to drive too. I don't care what happens to you today. I'm going to get you somewhere safely. And a man would do that, and that would be totally fine. You had a safe trip, 5-star rating. Me, I didn't give you conversation or attention, and I didn't want to hear about how you broke up with your girlfriend. I was rude. No, I wasn't rude. If a woman is not emotionally available, then she's rude.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because sometimes my emotional meter is tapped out and I don't have anything else to give you. Not a smile. And stop telling people to smile.
But I mean, just like Cabrillo.
That's the thing.
That's the thing.
And I'm going to bring up somebody else. Are you surprised? But Nicki Minaj said that on one of her little things. She was like, when Wayne says something to people, he's the boss. But when I say the same thing to someone, I'm a B. She's like, I'm running my empire just like he's running his empire. But because she's giving them aggressive direction, she can't be that way. But that's Wayne. That's what he's telling me to do. But I know Nicki Minaj is whatever. But I'm saying that's true. Like me, like I just said, when I just started this job. Shout out to just starting this job. But I love it. But they try to take advantage of me every single day. They try to take advantage of me. I'll put my counter mail part on them, no problem. But every day, these men try to take advantage of me because they're also playing off the fact that I'm new to it, but they're playing off the fact that she's a woman, she don't know. Baby, I got 12 years with AT&T. You can't tell me what A, B, and C is. And when I come back to them, they be like, Yeah, because I'm not a dummy. You know what I'm saying? So I have to work twice as hard. That's my point with you.
And I feel like
you have to work twice as hard.
And true. And I feel like anyone in a minority position has to work twice as hard because you're not part of the the general white male
sad.
And that's
majority.
Right. And we live in a westernized society, so those ideologies are still planted.
Speaking of, I came across something the other day, and I can't remember what the name of it was now, and I meant to write it down, I didn't, but it was a society where women practice polygamy and women could have multiple husbands.
I read that article.
Where's that country?
It's like in Asia.
I was just about to say it's in Asia.
It's in Asia.
Hold on, before we get to that, I want to catch up on a couple of comments here. Shout out to Harry Freeze. He said Harry said that Ms. Janak was his favorite.
That's Harry Fries. Why do you call him Freeze? That's Harry
Fries. Dr. Prater says code switching is when you change your characteristics to fit the dominant quote unquote white or parentheses white culture in necessary situations and switch back to their native culture when outside of those situations. Yes, we all do it.
The doctor is in because I was telling my friend, I was going on an interview and I was like, girl, I have to straighten my hair because I'm not going to interview with my hair in its natural state. No, wait. When I interviewed at a Black owned and led business, I wore my hair in its natural state and I got the job. But every time I'm in like in a more corporate setting, I will straighten my hair. I hate it. I hate that I have to go along to get along. But
it's called playing the white man's game. That's what I call it.
I've been fortunate not to experience that yet. From when I had my afro to my low fade to my hair right here. Now I cut it all off. I've been notice what I say, very fortunate. I have yet to experience that. I
took that upon myself when I got into management for restaurants. I cut my hair, my locks out so that I could appear more professional, if you will.
Let me flip it back to you. That was what we were talking about before with names. Ricky versus Kenneth.
Right.
Misha, your name. Playing the game. Like I told you, I was embarrassed to put my name on resumes. Like, and I don't want to say the word hate my name, but I used to inquire, can I say T. Redmond? Why? Because I didn't want to be Black before you met me. I wanted you to meet me versus my credentials versus my name, So like, I was just piggybacking off what Misha said about her hair. Like I've been hired by jobs. Like, did you know I was Black before you met me? They were like, yeah. I just straight out asked because she said, but your resume shine through. That awesome. Kind of pissed me off. Like you was trying to say awesome. You weren't going to hire me, but your resume actually stood for itself. I proved my point, and that's what goes like what you said about your hair. Misha, do you ever feel that way with your name? Like, because the Isha and
right. Well, my whole name is Farah Misha.
Yes.
It's Swahili. And I've grown to love and appreciate my name, but I know it's going to be a 5-minute educational lesson on how to pronounce it, what it means, where it's from. No, I'm not from South Africa. We have to go through this whole thing just to explain my name, but no one has a problem with names like, Kaczewski and stuff like that.
Do you put your full name on resumes or just Misha?
I put Misha.
Okay. And see, here's the thing, and this is why I'm glad that a certain wave of change is coming. We're starting. Notice how I said starting. We're not there yet. We're starting to live in a global society mindset versus a Western ideology. Okay. When I say that, I mean in the sense of, let's say, social media, in the sense of knowledge, in the sense of expansion of ideas and people actually being receptive to learn about others, that problem is starting to become minimized. Like I named my daughter what I named her as a running joke, that it fits in all the ACT boxes. Her name.
Did you tell her that?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And actually, my sister named her because I was going to name her after me. I heard some names where I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I don't know if they make soliloquy accents in the ABC preschool letters, but you know what? We just go around with this name. So growing up with her, they always assumed she was Caucasian before they seen her due to her name. And when she took the ACTs, I sent her a text and said, see, your name fits in all the boxes. And I was saying it to be funny. Like you could find her name at any gas station keychain, anything like that,
What's her name?
Huh?
What's her name?
Erin.
I thought it was Aaron.
Yeah, ERIN. So,
And some people, and that might be an advantage too, because some people don't know if it's a male.
Yes,
right.
Well, it depends on how you spell it, I think. But even
Right.
my mother spells her name. Her name is Jean. She spells Gene because she was named after her uncle. And I go to I go to vote, and they're like, "Are you Gene or are you Kenneth?" I'm Kenneth, actually. That's who I am.
You said the name.
Yeah, because everybody knows it. It's fine. A couple of quick comments here. Dr. Prater again says, men are trained in this country not to show certain emotion because certain emotions equal weakness. And patriarchy calls for men to be dominant and have power. It's so harmful, though. Mr. Al Young says, it all depends on each person's personality, period. Dr. Prater goes back to say, gender roles can be dangerous, and this is what y'all are referring to. And Harry Freeze says it is freeze. It's pronounced
and
freeze.
I'm responding right now. I know that I've been saying it since we were 6 years old, and I'm not changing it. Thank you, Mr. Fry.
Harry, I will call you Freeze because I respect
Listen,
how
here's
you
the thing
pronounce it.
about names. Let me ask y'all this now, and again, folks, if you all are commenting, I appreciate it. Go ahead and continue with the comments. Give us a call, 708-223-8953. My question is this.
Yes.
We started, when we talk about women and the impact that they make in corporate settings, in family settings, I want to jump back to corporate for a second. Do y'all think that the hashtag Me Too movement is still relevant?
What is the hashtag Me Too movement?
Yes.
Where have you been?
Absolutely.
I almost fell out my chair.
Me Too. You haven't heard about the Me Too movement.
We'll get to that in a second. We'll address it because you know what? Again, and not no shade, but I think that it hit the scene. We got some awareness around it, and shout out again to Asia Jamal for creating a movement around it on her own, as well as I'm sure many people have. But I don't see it as much in social media anymore. And like, I don't want it to distance off as a fad, if you will. But I'm curious to know from your standpoint, ladies, outside of you not knowing what it is, we'll talk about it. Is hashtag Me Too still, a thing? Is it still on the scene?
I'm ready for this.
Can somebody quickly explain it to me so I can join in? Like, what is it? Just briefly.
Yes.
The Me Too movement was actually started by a Black woman, but the actress Alyssa Milano got credit for it. They were talking about
what else is new?
Clearly, whenever it gets popular. So in whatever it is. It was about somebody being sexually harassed, sexually abused, and then women were starting to tell their stories and say hashtag Me Too. So it started with, what's that guy, Weinstein?
Sure, we'll call him that.
He was the biggest one to tumble.
Right, that's where he got
Right, to this day. But so what it is women telling their stories of abuse, marginalization, sexual harassment, and they're saying hashtag Me Too. Like, this is not something that's happening in an isolated sense. And it was woman after woman after woman on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, telling her stories, saying, in the industry, sexual harassment is pervasive. It's not just this one bad apple idea that we get a hold of. And then the Me Too movement, like you said, I don't see it as much either. But my question is, what responsibility do women have to women in the Me Too movement? Because we're talking about sexuality being used as a weapon. Women weaponize sex against each other, or women's sexual reputations or sexual histories against each other.
Oh my gosh!
You better preach.
I was just
is that because you're almost pitted against each other to do it? Like that's
because women see each other. So women see each other as competition because men are security in a patriarchal society. So we don't have the same camaraderie as men, because the only reason that these things go on is because men keep quiet for each other. You're not going to tell your guy your guy has a thing about getting with women when they drunk, but that's on him, dude. I ain't going to say nothing. That's that man's business. But every woman is raised to police every other woman's pee. And
not
that
pee,
because I can't say the word.
Thank you.
Right.
Shouts out to No Fun.
Right. Exactly. So,
hashtag
women police women police the sexual behavior of other women. Well, I'm not that type of woman, or she's been with that many men, or she's done this, or I'll do this, but I won't do that. And so they put other women in a box to lift themselves up, to say, I'm a cut above that type of woman, so pick me. See, the woman who weaponizes the sexuality of another woman is also more than likely a pick-me woman, too.
I need some sunglasses because it's getting shady up in here.
But
you
real.
know what? Because I was having that exact conversation with somebody about the suppressed sexuality of a woman, particularly a Black woman, growing up in certain settings. How a man is able to be free to do whatever without judgment, whereas a woman cannot.
Speaking of that, let's get back to that country that allows women to have multiple husbands. I don't want to forget that.
I got to look it up. I came across it actually.
But that's the point, just like you said right there. There are name 5 Black men right now that would say I would stay in a household with Misha and 5 other guys. There's not one on this planet that would say
no. Well, they're not in this country, and they're not under our.
So please, anybody who shout out to anybody who knows what list of countries there are, please post them on Facebook. But what I'm saying is that goes back to what you said about the sexuality in that it's still in those type of relationship. There is competition within that as well, being the first wife, the second wife, the third baby mom, whatever, however it is, and he gets to sit back as a king. Why women can't do that? Because if I say, and this is not personal, I've been with 100 men, Facebook was shut down. But if Ricky says it, man, Joe, for real, how many? Why women? That I just the double standard on that sexuality thing just blows.
But that gets dangerous, and that's why you have
what
men.
What is dangerous?
Well, telling men that their personhood and their manhood is contingent upon how many women they conquest, because then that's when you have men being aggressive and domineering towards women, because you're removing the personhood from the woman when you say this many women they're an object. Then
they're objective.
Women are objectified. So, and then you have,
you're saying that men are object if you say it like that?
No, men are objectifying women because it makes you more of a man or bigger by having more women. And then that's why men, quote unquote, run through girls. These men become totally disconnected from themselves, their own healthy sexuality. They're not able to get in touch, with their feelings, and they don't know how to treat women as equal persons. Because there's not a man that I look at and don't think that person to person that is my equal. Not that he's not smarter than me or more intelligent, not because he doesn't work hard, but I don't look at a man as more of a human or more person than I am. My intrinsic value as a human being is on par with any other human being.
Real quick before we go on, I just want to make sure that I interrupt for a second. Just for a second, I got to pay a couple of bills here. The show tonight is being brought to you by A Shakur Boutique, offering 20% off of your total purchase just by joining the mailing list. So go ahead and check her out and all the latest fashion at www.ashakurboutique. That's ASHAKUR boutique.com. And it's being brought to you by Brand L, offering professional MUA services and consulting. Contact Brandy to book your appointment today at 872-216-9454. That's BL, be feminine, improve the space. Ladies, while we're talking about, and the hashtag Me Too movement got directed over to this, and I say it all the time. It happens. It can happen. This is why it's a live show. We appreciate all of the comments that are going on here, and in fact, I'm gonna try to catch up with a few here. Apparently, a few people are really enjoying Misha's comments here. That preaching is what she's doing.
I got my sunglasses on. She just killed it.
But Gabriel, you actually brought up something that I want to kind of circle back to here briefly. So when we have this, you say global society versus
a Western ideology.
What are we doing, and how are we impacting? What are we doing for our young girls to ensure that they don't grow up in the same type of a stigma and setting that our generation and the generations before us grew up in? And this is to all of you all, especially to you all being mothers as well and having daughters. But what is it that we're doing?
I myself personally always openly talk to her. I never sugarcoated things in a sense of that you should be ashamed of this, or if you get to the point where you feel like this. I made it abundantly clear of where she came from, the original creation of her, in a sense where she understood where it was the very beginning, sperm, egg, this, that, and the other. But when she asked at that age, I told her in a sense where it was age appropriate for her. But the older she got, the deeper our conversations became. I didn't put it as a sense of you should be ashamed of your breasts. You should be ashamed of your hips, your butts, and your butt, or anything like that. You should use it in modesty. If you're feeling this way, your body's going to go through changes. You're going to feel a certain way. Be open for that discussion. You might have an attraction, and people might disagree with this. You might have an attraction to women. You might have attraction to men. You might become pansexual. You might become asexual.
Because this generation, they got it all. Right, yeah.
So I made it in a sense to whereas she should not feel shame for anything that she feels as she develops and get older, and for her experience, for the people that she run across. But I also put that knowledge in her head that someone can't come off the street and tell you how to feel or what to do. So in saying that, in doing that, we need to teach our young women that it's okay for you to be you, however you're going to be. You have an open, listening, unbiased ear right here waiting for you, for your questions, for your comments, for your concerns. And that's a lot of things people don't have. Not to say me, but I knew people who grew up in the I'm going to tell you this and this is it type generation. You know, you keep your legs closed, you do this, you do that, and that was it. You know, I knew people who didn't grow up like I did, very fortunate with my mom at times. Well, why is this and why is that, this, that, and the other? You don't have those open type of things. It's very unfortunate that we live in the country that we live in and violence is preferred over sex, over nudity, over something that's natural. Whereas if you go overseas, sex is very open, very blatant, it's very natural, it's not taboo. So that's where I believe, again, with the global society versus Western ideology, because you have social media, because you have this, because you have that, and that's becoming one of the things. Sex is no longer becoming a sense of taboo, and you have to have these discussions. You have to. You're going to be forced to, because you have 4, 5, 6-year-olds that's looking at things on TV, that's looking at things that's happening within their own family, that's playing with themselves, and that's in human instinct. That's normal.
Right.
You know, but you have to guide them accordingly. And you don't need to be afraid to step out on that.
So as single mothers,
no, I'm not a single mother.
I'm not
a mother at all.
Not you specifically. No, I'm saying as single mothers.
I was gonna say that because I want to give him his due credit accordingly.
Sure.
Although it didn't work out the way that it was supposed to. Shout out to my he hate when I said it. Shouts out to my baby daddy.
I hate that.
He hate what I said.
Well, but you know what? And so
funny.
to tackle that, actually, I had a question because this came up once in a conversation, and I'm wondering, when you have women who are growing up as single mothers, right? If you have a woman that is in that position that is essentially playing both roles, your opinions, real quick, before we have to wrap up. Let me know. Are you okay with wishing that woman a happy Father's Day? Either one, any of y'all. Anyone.
You don't have to wish me happy Father's Day. I'm not a father. You know, I'm a mother, very much a provider, but I'm not a man.
Right.
I sometimes have to lean more into a masculine energy to, you know, when I would want to be soft, maybe be a little firmer, because I have sons and daughters. But I am not a man. And then some people who are wished happy Father's Day, I'm not even up in arms about that either. If they feel that that's how they want to be wished, happy Mother's Day, happy Father's Day, that's on them. I just don't be caring about stuff that really don't have nothing to do with me.
People put a lot of emotion behind it. Like that was a big thing about it for a long time.
It starts on May 1st. Don't wish nobody happy Mother's Day on my time.
Who really cares? How is that affecting your life? What does that have to do with the price of chicken in China?
So worked up about it. I'm like, what's the deal? If you don't want to be wished happy Father's Day, then say thank you, but no, I'm not a father. And then move on. If you do, if that's how you feel, okay, that's fine too. I just don't understand. People get so worked up about it. They just get, and then I've seen people who don't have child number 1, 2, nothing, and they like, I don't want to see it. You ain't nobody parent. Go sit down.
Sit down.
Hold up. It's because people get caught up in having invisible allies on social media, to whereas they feel that void, and that's just my opinion. That's my opinion. They feel that void of not having the actual support, so your invisible allies come in and do that.
I don't want my last statement to be about that. I want to piggyback on what you said. I was watching something really sad on Instagram the other day. It was a mom and a daughter, and she was having her daughter say the lyrics to "How You Want Me, But I Got a Girl," and she was singing the lyrics about being a side chick, and it broke my heart.
Mhm.
Why? Because between love and hip hop and this music, our daughters are just out there, and it's not because what I'm saying. Wait, let me piggyback on that. I'm saying that way we grew up in the 80s and things like that, and the way they're growing up now, and one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible is the power of the tongue. You're having this little girl confess that. Guess what that does? That gets into her heart, that gets into her mind, and she grows up and she thinks that this song is the way that she's supposed to be treated and the way she's supposed to act, and you're letting her do that. And I remember Misha would tell me that she would have her kids listen to Christian music and stuff like that, and kids probably think it's horrible and things like that, but what you're putting in your children's hearts and souls will grow on them, and it will grow on them as they get older, and it will manifest when she's on that pole at 21.
All right, we're not gonna put her on the pole before we go any further. But listen, I gotta wrap this up. I gotta go ahead and wrap this up. I know it's a good conversation. It was going in a great direction. But ladies, I want to say thank you so much for being on the show and in the room this evening. Miss Cabrile Briati, hashtag Cabrile Chats, Miss Alicia Red, host of Sister Girl Radio here on IntellectualRadio.com, and Misha Williams, my soror, yoga instructor and health and wellness specialty and advisor. Thank you so much, ladies. Yes, all right. Be sure to download the iHeartRadio app. Find us on iTunes under the podcast section. Search for Intellectual Radio and all the shows in the Intellectual Radio family. Special thanks to Mr. Al for producing the show. That's Al Young Enterprises, providing resources for performance and production engagements, artistic development, and personal image consulting. You can reach them at 773-220-9869 or at Al Young, the Roman numeral 3 at me.com. And I don't think we have a show coming on next on Intellectual Radio this evening, or we do have some. We got Dana being Dana. So you tune in for her. Thank you so much to you all that tuned in. It's time to get out.